Jerry Nichols is one of our pastoral care volunteers. He is one of the first ones that I met when I started here about 2 years ago. He made a big impression on me from the get-go.
We have a great group of physicians and nurses and staff who kind of take care of the physical part of our patients, but Jerry takes care of that spiritual side. He provides somebody to pray with, somebody to hold your hand, somebody to laugh with.
It's his attitude. It's just the nature of a guy. He's a good minister, as you would think a minister should be. You could just look at Jerry.
I've seen firsthand the difference that Jerry makes. The way he's outgoing, and he wants to know about people, and it just comes natural to him.
Because of being a parish pastor, I had to depend on volunteers all the time. I had every congregation was just filled with volunteers, and I really learned to appreciate them. Without them, I wouldn't have even had a job. They were just such an inspiration, and that's one of the reasons I decided that I wanted to volunteer after retired. I've been doing it for 8 years with Methodist Richardson Medical Center, and it's an awesome place to volunteer. I've been volunteering for 20 years. I have been in a number of hospitals. I won't name them by name, but this one has got to be the very best. And I think it's because of the administration and their commitment to pastoral care.
Yes, pastoral care is definitely an emphasis here at Methodist Richardson. We want to make sure that it's the whole patient, the whole family member that's being taken care of. And part of that is their spirituality.
The importance of the chaplains, I believe, as working in the healthcare field for quite a long time, it goes hand in hand with their whole journey here, you know, with their well-being and them for their health.
The hospital has a great emphasis on pastoral care, and Jerry is incremental and a key piece of that.
The volunteers we have for pastoral care are a very special breed. They are the ones that help to really calm the anxiety of the patients, the family members. They seriously have a calling to do what they do.
It's just natural. That's what you do. As a chaplain, you pay attention to everybody. As a friend, I mean, you're a friend to everybody if you're doing your job right. And it's not a job, it's a calling.
When I was 16 years of age, I had an accident on Christmas Day. And it was really bad. Hit a pedestrian and didn't know it, but one of the people riding the car said, "Jerry, you've hit somebody." And I was just really, really devastated over this. But I remember in the police car asking one of the girls that was with us to go get that Bible out of the car, because my mother had given me a Bible on Christmas Day, thinking nothing else works for this kid, maybe this will. And little do we know that I'd be thumbing through that Bible in the back seat of a patrol car waiting for the ambulance to come. Well, I don't know exactly what I read, but that was the beginning for me of going in the direction of the seminary.
Jerry Nichols is able to take whatever situation you may happen to find yourself in and be able to listen, to find words that either help you through the difficult time, if it's that, or has an anecdote or a story that can add in and is funny and just makes you feel at ease, no matter where you are or what you're doing.
As a chaplain, my primary role is to give people hope. That word hope is so critical. People that come into the hospital often have all kinds of things that they're dealing with, and they're shy, they're really quite anxious. Some people think of a chaplain as bringing God into a room so that he can minister to people. When you really stop and think about it, God's already in the room, and all the chaplain is going to do is to go in and make people aware of the Lord that's already there.
I've seen Jerry make a very big impact on people's lives. I see him as he's talking to nurses, talking to techs, see them kind of huddled in corners, and you can tell that there's something very intense going on, and he's working with that person.
He's came to several of my surgeries, one even outside of the facility. He came at 6:30 in the morning and was waiting there. And there was this little bitty guy standing out there. And I said, that was my pastor waiting. And she said, we sent him away and he's going to come back. And he did.
I've had people contact me after they go home and tell me how much they appreciated me just visiting for that short time. Some of them have even told me, Chaplain, you literally saved my life. And you have to know what the experience was to know what they're talking about, but that's so rewarding.
My husband and I were going to have just a very low-key wedding. We just wanted it to be the two of us and each of our children. And I knew in the back of my head Jerry was here and that I couldn't imagine anybody better to officiate this momentous occasion. He doesn't do anything halfway. He prepared for it. It was nobody there to witness it but us. He did it special because he knew that it would touch us.
Another memorable event has to do with a couple that just met after not seeing each other for years. They had been childhood sweethearts and they both had lost their spouses, and somehow or another they hooked up again. Very shortly after they came together and got reacquainted, Debbie came down with serious cancer. Tom said, I want to marry you. And she was in the hospital awaiting cancer surgery. And he didn't want to wait because he didn't know what was going to happen. And so he proposed for her at the hospital. But she's in the hospital. She's got surgery coming up. I don't care. Let's do it now. The nurses on the 4th floor all agreed to be honorary bridesmaids. Everyone had something to do with the wedding. And it turned out to be such a beautiful wedding.
And keep him in sickness and in health.
I also minister to the staff, to doctors and nurses. I've had both ask me for help, doctors especially when it comes to end-of-life conversations. I don't know how many times they run into the situations where the family has not talked about end of life, and it needs to be discussed because death is imminent. And a number of times the doctor said, Chaplain, will you please help me to talk with the family so that they will be more accepting of that? You know, it affects me personally often.
We try to support each other, and sometimes we take things home. Every chaplain does that. You learn to cope.
You can care so much you can't really help somebody because you need help. So I have to constantly watch that. The best way to do that is to talk to the Lord in the morning before I leave the home. And to talk to my wife. Every chaplain needs a chaplain.
So one thing about Jerry Nichols is he has an amazing love story with his wife, Rose.
Rose has been such a wonderful pastor to me, chaplain when I was in the ministry. He was always there to settle me down and just speak calmly to me like a chaplain does to patients. So finally I could unwind and just go to sleep.
Rose is his foundation. She is the one that when he has the rough day, when he doesn't think he can get up in the morning, she's right there to help him.
The reason I proposed after 2 months is there were 2 other men after her, and I did not want them to get her. So I moved fast, and I'm sure glad I did after all these years. She's, you know, I have never met another woman that even comes close to her. She's always been there to hold my hands, and I just don't know how I would live without her.
Okay, I love little Jerry's laugh, and like it's my goal to make him laugh so hard he doubles over every day that I see him. It's contagious, and he is just adorable because he just starts laughing and you can't help but not laugh with him.
Jerry and I met actually in the back of a car. Jerry and I hitched a ride with our president, Ken Hutchenrider, and our VP of Operations, Bob. And Jerry and I sat in the back seat, and we just giggled and laughed and talked the whole way there. And Ken and Bob later teased me about that because we were laughing back like a couple of little girls back there.
Yes, I have seen Jerry dancing. He's got some good dance moves.
He has an infectious presence. Anytime we see him, we Everybody wants to hug him.
I nominated Jerry because I love Jerry. Again, he helped me so much over these past couple of years in a way I couldn't have made it without him. So he's helped on a personal level, he's helped on a professional level, and I feel like if he doesn't have a direct line to God, ain't nobody got a direct line to God.
Jerry deserves this award more than anybody that I can think of. I'm actually shocked to hear that he's a volunteer. I thought he maybe worked here full time or maybe lived in the hospital because he's here so much.
I wish I could have known Jerry years ago. And if there's one thing that I could tell him is keep doing what you're doing. And maybe, I don't know if he believes in another life, but I wish we could cross paths earlier.
To me, a true hero is somebody who does things without any necessarily applause or reward. It's from his heart. He's doing things to make a difference in other people's lives. I'm not convinced that he's not Superman.
Jerry, I appreciate our friendship. I know we've shared a lot of great things, and you really deserve this honor, and consider my congratulations.
Jerry, I want to tell you a big congratulations. You deserve this more than anybody, and I am so thankful that I'm a part of this. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. You're rocking it.
Jerry, congratulations. We all love you. You're so important to all of us, and you hold a special place in my heart.
Pastor Jerry, thank you for all the times you've stopped by my office, for all the hugs you've given, not just to me, but to so many people here and beyond these walls. We couldn't do it without you, and we love you so much. You deserve this. You are a real hero.